Guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to the official Charlotte apartment hunt video. Grab a snack, grab a coffee, because I feel like this might be a long video. If you guys are new here, just stumbling upon this video, make sure that you subscribe and stick around. I just have a lifestyle channel. I love taking you guys through our 20s. It's a lot of vlogs, daily life, working a 9-to-5 job from home, and just taking you through my life. My fiance and I have lived in Tampa, Florida for the past 15 months, so a little bit over a year, but we are moving to Charlotte, North Carolina so that my fiance can go back in office for his job. We are moving in about 3 weeks, so it's coming up super fast. We spent this past weekend in Charlotte touring a bunch of different apartments. We actually toured 8 apartments and 1 townhome, and we did end up applying for one of the apartments, so you guys will have to wait to see the apartment that we chose because I'm not going to include it in this video. That way I can tell you guys the names of all the apartment complexes and give you all the details that you really want to know. In past apartment tour videos, I've left out the names and the detailed information because I thought I might live in one of them, and I didn't want, obviously, to tell you guys exactly where I'm living. But I can say for sure all of the ones that I'm gonna show you, we did not choose for one reason or another. So I'm gonna be able to share all the details on all these complexes for you guys. And like I said, we did tour 1 townhome, but we just decided that we kind of like the apartment life. I know that's unpopular for some people, but it was a really nice townhome. It was in a great location. It was in our price range. But then we just toured some apartments, and I love the amenities. I love having a pool. I love kind of a community. I love all the stuff that comes with that. And so I wasn't quite ready to move into a home. I'm sure at some point in the future, but we did apply for an apartment, so we're gonna keep with the apartment living going forward. I should also mention that I have lived in Charlotte before. I lived in Charlotte for 3 years before moving to Tampa. That is where I got my master's degree. So I'm very familiar with Charlotte, and I already kind of knew what areas I wanted for us to be looking in. So that was definitely a plus going into this move because I was pretty familiar with the different areas in Charlotte. But let's go ahead and get into it. I want to tell you guys what exactly we were looking for. So our desires, first, we definitely needed a 2-bed, 2-bath minimum. We live in a 1-bed, 1-bath now. I work from home, and my fiance, when we're in Charlotte, will be hybrid. So he'll be going into the office a few days a week, but working from home a few days a week. So we're kind of here all the time. We just really needed an upgrade in the size of our place. So 2-bed, 2-bath minimum. If we could find one that had 2-bed, 2-bath with like a study or a nook or even a 3rd bedroom, that would be a plus, but not a requirement. I like to live in an updated space. It doesn't have to be brand new by any means, but at least updated, look nice. My 3rd biggest thing was walkability. We have 1 car that we share, and like I said, my fiance will be going into the office some days during the week. So I love to be in kind of a central area where I can walk to a coffee shop, walk to my workout classes, walk to a grocery store if I need to. So for that reason, I really wanted to stay within a core area of Charlotte where there's lots of things to do, lots of walking. And then lastly, our budget for this 2-bed apartment in a good location is $3,000, which is less than we are paying now for our 1-bed, 1-bath in Tampa. Kind of exciting to me that we're looking to upgrade our space but pay less, because Charlotte is a little bit more affordable than Tampa. So that is kind of an exciting thought to me. And I do mean $3,000 all in. So a lot of times apartments will list their rent, but then they have a bunch of hidden fees. These fees are usually the amenity fees, usually parking, usually pest control, trash, internet sometimes, and that can add up to like another $200 on top of the rent. $3,000 all in with all fees. That was the goal. Okay, let's get into the first apartment. The first apartment that we toured is in NODA. NODA is considered the arts district of Charlotte. So it has a little bit more of an eclectic feel to it. There's a lot of dive bars, a lot of thrifting, vintage shops, just kind of a more artsy area. It's about 10 to 15 minutes outside of Uptown, which is like the downtown area of Charlotte. I love NODA. My fiance really loves NODA. It has one of our favorite wine bars called Bar Events there. we like to go to NODA for like a date night or just to go hang out. But I will say it does have a little bit more of a suburban vibe to it. It's not quite as big as some of the other walkable areas in Charlotte. There's a lot more houses, but it is a really cute area. We saw one apartment complex in NODA and it was called Inkwell. It's a relatively new apartment complex. So I'll go ahead and pop up the video and walk you guys through it. This was a 3-bed, 2-bath apartment. As you can see, it has like beautiful big windows, natural light. The kitchen was a light colored theme. All of the units we saw have washer and dryer in unit. That's pretty standard in Charlotte and important to me. This was the first bedroom, just had a nice small closet. There was an additional walk-in closet in this unit, which was nice because the closet in the bedrooms were all kind of small. Second bedroom, again, really nice bright colors. We also had a shared patio. I didn't love that it was shared. You share it with 3 other neighbors, but it was kind of cool. It felt like a terrace, kind of. This was the first bathroom, which I thought was interesting that it had the glass shower in what would be considered the guest bathroom. This would be the master because it has the bathroom attached. Kind of small on the bathroom side of things, but the finishes in this building were just very pretty because it was brand new. And then again, this kind of long closet, not a walk-in. We really did like that apartment. It was the biggest apartment we saw by a long shot, with it being 3 bedrooms. It was obviously new, so everything was nice and updated, very bright colors. And it was at a really, really great price. The price for this unit was $2,710, and they were offering 6 weeks free. This building, that did not include Wi-Fi, so we would have to add, say, another $60 or so on top of that for our Wi-Fi. There were a few cons to this building that I just couldn't really get past. If you could take that unit, pick it up and put it in a different building, I would have been absolutely in love with it. But this was kind of what I will call a no amenity building. I think that's a big way that they are able to keep their price down. If you wanted parking, it was $100 on top of your rent. There also was no pool. There was a very, very small gym. It had like 1 treadmill. And then besides that, there was really no other amenities in the building. And for me, if we're gonna live in an apartment, I would like to live in a building that has good amenities, because otherwise we would just live in a townhouse if we're not gonna have amenities. I will say the units were very pretty and it came at a really good price, but it just didn't feel quite right to me. And I also wasn't quite sold on living in NODA. I could see that maybe at some point in the future moving out to NODA, but it's just still a little bit further from the things that I kind of want to be closer to. So for that reason, we said no to Inkwell. The next neighborhood we went and saw 2 apartments in is LoSo, also known as Lower South End. LoSo is a very up and coming new neighborhood. LoSo was not around, or not really a thing, when I first was living in Charlotte 4 years ago now. It is very quickly up and coming. There's a lot of bars opening, lots of restaurants, lots of new apartment buildings being built there. So I think it has a lot of potential in the future. Another pro of LoSo is things tend to be slightly more affordable because, again, you aren't right in the center of everything. You're maybe 10 minutes out, but you're still pretty close. The first apartment we saw in LoSo was called South and Hollis. This is another new build. There's so much new in Charlotte. Most of the apartments we saw were new builds. Popping up the video again, pretty standard stackable washer dryer. I liked that it had a built-in kind of coat rack area for you when you first walked in. This was the guest bathroom. Gorgeous, love the finishes on that. Super bright. Again, this would be the guest room / my office. Not a walk-in closet, but that's okay. There was plenty of other storage here. Pretty standard gray kitchen, but again, brand new. We'd be the first people to live in this unit. This one had a study, which we love. This had a nook study area where Will would be able to put his desk, which would be a big plus for us if we were able to get that. Master bedroom was a good size. The master had a huge walk-in closet. I love the 2 mirrors in this bathroom instead of one big mirror. I thought that was really pretty. Nice glass shower, extra storage. Honestly, loved that one. This was another apartment that if we could pick it up and move it, I'm sure we would have taken it. The location just wasn't going to work for us. The price for this unit, a little bit up there, closer to the top end of our budget, I'm sure due to the size of the unit, but it was $2,938 and they were currently offering 6 weeks free. The cons of this building was that there is so much construction around on every corner of the building. The building was here, there was a new build here, here, and here, and then it was right on a main road. So everywhere we looked, the roads were blocked off. And this wasn't construction that was gonna be done in 6 months. This was stuff that's gonna be taking at least a year or 2 to finish. They're building like a 900 unit apartment complex right next door, and that just wasn't gonna work for us. I love to be able to walk. As you guys know, there was nowhere for me to walk Franklin because everywhere we turned was a muddy construction site. I think LoSo has a lot of potential in a few years, but I think we're just too early for us, at least. I don't really love to be surrounded by construction on every side. I could do like one side, but every side wasn't gonna work for me. My camera just died. I had to switch cameras because I wanted to keep filming. I don't feel like waiting for it to charge. So new camera, next apartment. The second apartment we saw in LoSo was called MAA LoSo. This is where the apartments are gonna kind of start to blend together, if I'm being honest. A lot of 2-bedroom floor plans are the same. You walk in, it's a straight shot kitchen, living room, and then your bedrooms are on the side. And I feel like we saw a lot of the standard 2-bed floor plans. MAA LoSo is an older building, which is so funny because it's really not that old. It's 3 years old. But with so much new around Charlotte, that actually makes it seem a little bit older than a lot of the buildings we were looking at. We would not be the first people to be living in this unit, and you could kind of tell in the units. A lot of the paint was chipped on the cabinets, the floors were scratched, things like that, that obviously are gonna happen as an apartment building gets older, but it was something we noticed. A lot of the carpets throughout the entire building were really stained, so it just felt a little bit older because of that. Going into the unit, I mean, it was a beautiful unit. This was the blue theme. Really nice kitchen. I really appreciate when the washer dryer is not stackable like this one. It had an actual kind of closet with some storage. Again, you walk straight into the living room, and then on one side, this would be the guest room slash my office. They did have carpet in here, which I don't hate, but I'm not a huge fan if I could choose. Lots of storage, good looking shower. The closets were really big in this apartment, which we appreciated. Nice bright living room. There was an extra linen closet over here. The master was a decent size, double vanity, which is not a requirement, but obviously a nice plus, something that I would love to have. Glass shower, extra storage, huge master closet. This was the most affordable apartment that we saw by a long shot. This apartment was $2,493. That did not include Wi-Fi, so I like to add another maybe $50, $60 to that just to allow for Wi-Fi. So really, really great price on that unit, but at the end of the day, we just kind of felt like it was nothing special. Nothing special, there was nothing super unique about it. There was carpet, and also LoSo just needs like 3 more years before I feel like it'll really be everything it's aiming to be. It just needs a little bit more time. For that reason, we chose not to go with this apartment. The next area we saw an apartment in is called Uptown. Uptown is the downtown area of Charlotte. It's where you're gonna see all of your high-rise buildings. There's a lot of businesses and financial buildings in Uptown. If you're looking for that high-rise feel, Uptown is definitely gonna be your spot. The building we saw wasn't a high-rise, but there are a lot of them in Uptown. Uptown also tends to be a little bit more affordable than the South End area, which we'll get to last, but you're still really close. You're right on the light rail, which is the transit system in Charlotte, really convenient in Uptown. There also is a lot of businesses in Uptown, so a lot of people work in Uptown. But the apartment that we saw is called The Crown. It's really on the very, very edge of Uptown, almost in South End, but they advertised themselves as Uptown. They only had one unit that would be available, and the unit they were able to show us was furnished. So I'll walk you through it. It's pretty much the exact floor plan as the MAA LoSo. Again, you walk in, very beautiful kitchen. It also had that nice coat rack when you first walk in. Living space. Over to our right here would be the guest room. Good sized guest bathroom with plenty of storage. Decent sized closet. Walking over the other way was the master. Again, big enough for a queen bed, 2 nightstands, double vanity. And the one thing that I really didn't like about the unit that they had available is that it was on the 2nd floor, but for this building that was right on the ground. The balcony opened right up into the courtyard and the pool area for this complex, which I just didn't love. I don't want to be right on the ground. So that really wasn't going to work for us, mainly just because the availability that they had isn't a unit that we were interested in. A pro of this building, I liked that it was kind of between the South End and Uptown. That was a cool location to be right in the middle. So if you walk 2 blocks to your left, you're right in Uptown. 2 blocks to your right, you're right in South End. So that was kind of nice. But again, just kind of felt like this was nothing special. It wasn't calling to us by any means. Nothing really to differentiate it. It had your standard amenities, pool, gym. All of the buildings so far, except for Inkwell, had the standard pool, gym, basic amenities. Just nothing really crazy. This apartment was $2,845, which is a pretty good price range. Not quite at the top of our budget. So good price, but overall just kind of nothing special. That price does not include Wi-Fi again, so add 50, 60 bucks for Wi-Fi, but they were offering 1 month free. The next area and the last area that we looked for apartments in is called South End. It's right next to Uptown. LoSo is a little bit further, and then NODA is a little bit north. So South End is gonna be pretty central. There is a lot of bars, a lot of nightlife, a lot of restaurants, a lot of breweries, lots of stuff going on in South End. I think it's the area where a lot of younger people tend to flock to because there is so much to do. There's shopping. It's just a good area with everything you could possibly need is kind of there in that South End area. If you don't like to be in a super vibrant, busy, always busy area, that might not be the area for you. But if you do like to be in a really lively, busy, something always going on area, I think South End is a good one. It does tend to be the priciest of all the areas that we've seen so far, and that's just for all the reasons that I just listed. It's right kind of central. It's where everything is. So we have 3 more apartments. The first one that we saw in South End is called Camden Southline. This was another older building. I don't know exactly how old this building is, but you could definitely tell that it was a little older. It kind of needed some power washing or something. The amenities just weren't quite as nice as some of the new buildings that we saw. I think it's tough. I think the older buildings just are gonna have a hard time competing on the amenity front because the new builds, the amenities are like so incredible. However, this was the most expensive building that we saw, and I think the reason for that is its location. It is right on the rail trail. If you don't know, the rail trail is a really long walking path in Charlotte that is a great place to walk. Super popular spot, very busy. It's also right next to a Publix. So it's in a very central location. Being on the rail trail is gonna increase the price of the building. We thought the price was crazy for what you're getting. I didn't think I realized the price before we toured it. We probably would not have even toured it if I knew what the price was going to be. This was another one that they were only going to have 1 unit available, but I'll just go ahead and show you the unit. I actually did really like this floor plan. I just don't love the building or the unit that they would have had available. So when you first walk in, there was immediately a coat closet and then a laundry room, which is super nice. Love the corner unit with all these big windows. It was beautiful. Nice big kitchen with a little work from home space over in the corner. That was nice. The bedrooms were really big. They did have carpet, which I don't love. This was the master. It did not have a double vanity. Pretty big closet with built-ins. Then you walk over to the guest bathroom. Again, just pretty standard bathroom in here. Someone was actually moving into this unit, so there was like suitcases in there, but they let us see it anyway. Extra storage, nice big closet in the guest room. So I honestly really liked the layout of this unit. The actual unit that they had available was a first floor unit, and it was in the Publix parking lot, which I just absolutely hated that. The last thing I want to do is be coming out on my porch and watching all the people going in and out of Publix and then watching me. I would never have felt comfortable leaving our blinds open, just because, I mean, you could not be in a more public facing unit. The wraparound porch was stunning, but as you can kind of see, it really needed some cleaning. It needed some power washing. And like I said, there were people moving into this unit, so they clearly weren't going to be doing any power washing before they moved in. Like I said, this was the most expensive unit we saw. So all in, this does include Wi-Fi. They have a technology package, $3,247. Insane. And they also do not offer any deals. All of the apartments we'd seen so far were offering some kind of deal. They were offering nothing. They said, here's the expensive price tag, pay it or get out. Love the floor plan, didn't really love the building, hated the price tag. So that one was just not gonna work for us. Next up, we have Hawkins Press. This was a very new build. So new that quite a few of their amenities were actually still under construction and not open yet. They said they'd be done by the end of the year, but just something that we were keeping in mind. I actually thought this building was really cool. It used to be an old printing press, and they kept a lot of the printing press things in the building, so it had a cool kind of rustic feel to the actual building. The amenities were really nice. They really market themselves as like a luxury building, and I could definitely see that. I will say this is probably my favorite apartment finishes wise. As you can see, the kitchen is just beautiful, brand new. Again, it was gonna be your standard floor plan with the kitchen and living room, guest room on the right, master on the left. So this was the guest bathroom. Really like the finishes with those mirrors. It was pretty bright in there. Guest room closet. This unit did have a balcony. They had some 2 beds with balconies and without balconies, but this one had a balcony. I really do want a balcony. We do not have a balcony in our current place, and that's something I would really like to have in our next place. Master looks nice. I will say a lot of these units look a lot bigger than they were because I was filming on 0.5, so it's nice and zoomed out. Our main problem with this unit was the size. It was just a little small for the price. Very beautiful. So overall, this was a really beautiful building, great amenities, great location in South End, but it was just pretty small, and the amenities still being under construction. I don't hate that, like I could probably get over that, but it was just something we put on our cons list just to mention it. The price for this unit was $3,062. They were offering 2 months free, which is really great deal. And I think a lot of that has to do with the amenities not being completed. Really beautiful building. I did like it, but it just, again, wasn't the one for us. That's the last apartment that we saw. I cannot wait for you guys to see the apartment that we chose. It's a 2-bed, 2-bath, but I'm excited about it because anything is gonna be an upgrade in our space. We're gonna have so much more space. We're gonna be paying less money. So I cannot wait for you guys to see the unit that we chose. Let me know what you think of this video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them below. I tried to include everything I could think of, but definitely leave any questions down below if you're looking for a Charlotte apartment. Moving videos are coming soon. We're moving in just a few weeks. Thank you so much for watching, subscribing, and sticking around. And with that being said, I will see you guys so very soon in my next video. Bye guys.